The service chief, the recently announced service chief. I think it's like a ceremony that virtually every new government usually want to do. See, when you go to history, the history of actually all new administrations in this country usually start with the service chiefs. And the reason is that no presidents or no leader will want to take security for granted. Security is nothing you can take for granted. The reason some of them actually want to have the new service chief who will be loyal, who they will be much more satisfied with, bringing them on board. And that is actually what have just been done here with Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu today is a grounded politician, and he would never want to joke with the service chiefs, both the naval staff, the navy, the air force, the defense staffs, and the new NSA. What he just did is like having a new coronation. But the most interesting part is that Bola Tinubu has systematically bring in a new definitions into the system. The new service chief, starting from the new commissioner of police. The new commissioner of police is a grounded, sound, and intellectual police officer. You, even from seeing him at Ebetoko, is well lettered. When you see him speak, he speak security, he talk security, and is even media friendly. I'm sure that people like you, once upon a time when he was in the lorry, must have get in contact with him. He's somebody who defines the security with humanity. He's quite intelligent and he knows what he needs in security. Today I read the news about him that he said he's going to be bringing up on board the community policing. I think these are part of those things that Ebetoko has once admonished, he has one advocate even while in office here in Kwara State. He's a grounded person. Talking about the military officer, the head of the military, the Lagbaja, Tohid Lagbaja, is one of the best and fine, gentle officer that we have in this country. A very, very intellectual too. We've heard of stories how while he was leading the battalion in Kaduna, how he dislodged the bandits along the Abuja-Kaduna expressway. In some instances, we have seen those fantastic job that he did in quite a very short time that he was given that job. He did a fantastic job. In fact, we have seen people that have alleged that he has been handicapped at a point in time because some of the cabals that did not want that bandit to stop really called him to order something best known to them. But I think he is one of the fine and a very gentle officers, quite intelligent in security studies. When you see most of them, they are biodatas. It's quite interesting that I think Bola Tinubu has deep into their biodatas, seeing them as one of the gallant military officers that we have, military security officers that we have that can handle the job for him. And I think Bola Tinubu really inherited a lot of security challenges. And coming to office, he knew what exactly to do. Sacking the old one, bringing in the new one is like sacking the old order and bringing in the new order. And the new order is that those that will go according to his own needs and caprices, according to his own ideology, and bringing them on board, I think is more satisfying at this time. Give you an example of the new Ribado. New Ribado that we all know in this country is quite an interesting and intelligent person too. Some people will say no, he's not grounded in security, but I want to say this quite clear to all of our people that New Ribado has been a police officer before bringing him on board as an EFCC chairman. Then General Richard Obasanjo doing it. He's somebody that has, when you go into his CVs, he have went through a lot of trainings in security. He It's not about having somebody with a military background. When you want something that is quite interesting is somebody that have a background in security studies, a professionals in security, not wanting because he's a military, a naval officer. No, somebody who is grounded in security studies, and I think me Ribado is quite clear, a grounded officer too. The general that was brought in again to lead the army is from Zango Kataf. People that know his biodatas also know that he's quite a grounded person. One of the friends just called me this morning because he saw his name to be Musa, thinking he's another person from the north. Yeah, he's from the north, but he belongs to the Christian hemispheres of the north. I think that's why he really deep into it and wanted to send a signal back home. We have seen the videos of the people from the Zango Kataf, from the southern Kaduna jubilating. And what they wanted to know is this: their own hemisphere, their own the Zango Kataf, the southern Kaduna has been in crisis for a long time. And today we are having one of them who is heading the architecture of the army. They are quite impressed. They are quite happy that today they have their own. Somebody who will feel their pain. Somebody who will work in accordance to what exactly is supposed to do to bring in peace into it. I think I will give President Bola Tinubu kudos for doing a fantastic job. Nobody will look at the biodatas of the security chiefs and we want to criticize them. They are grounded. They are people with a lot of architectures in security. They have been into trainings, and they have been into, in fact, some of them with international background. It's quite interesting that when you have people like this mounting the leadership of the country like ours, you have President Bola Tinubu and his vice president doing a fantastic job, bringing them on board at this time. They will start the job together, and I think it's something for us to be happy about in this country. You see, this country, I think there is one thing about this ceremony in EFCC. And one of the ceremony and the festivity in EFCC is that most of the chairman usually go the same way, unceremoniously. From history, most of the chairman, maybe because of the type and the system of what they do in EFCC, they must have witch hunts, they must have stepped on toes, there must have been a lot of allegations upon them. What we hear today is also an allegation. Abdulrashid Bawa was alleged, and I think for now, let's believe it's an allegation. But this is what I want to say. I think we have heard some of the allegations from even the central bank governors that he is one of those people that led him to the currency redesign. These are very huge allegations that I think need somebody to step aside and a very thorough investigation be bring upon. Bawa, which I know, is one of the youth in this country that all of us really celebrated. We celebrated his appointment thinking that one of us has mounted the leadership of the country, mounted the leadership of EFCC, and is going to bring something, is going to sanitize it. But to the best of my own knowledge, I've not seen something that Bawa has changed in the EFCC. That is the truth. When you see a lot of analysts want to bring in this argument, the argument is this: Bawa came in at the point that Nigerians really wanted EFCC to be sanitized. But did they really sanitize it? No. Some of us are of the opinion that Bawa has systematically, buckled himself to following the Yahoo boys, which some of us even see as almost inconsequential in this country. All we want to see is the pivotal fight against the corrupt politicians of this country. Many following down the drains, many that people keep stealing in dollars and millions in this country. We have hardly seen people that have been well coordinated sent to prison. There is something that people really don't know about this EFCC fight of corruption. And these are one of the people to know. EFCC go to court in and out, spending Nigerians' money on litigations. In fact, there are examples of which EFCC must have spent a lot of millions of naira for somebody who they say is corrupt of just thousands of naira. So when you look at EFCC, I think EFCC really need a general and a systematic overhaul. We can't be fighting corruption with billions of naira in this country, and we are not even seeing the product of the corruptions. Most of the leaders that they say they have been arrested, most of them really go scot-free. So where is the corruption fight? I think Bawa need to step aside. What the president just did is a fantastic one. Let him set aside. And what I want to say is this clearly, that we want the president, Bola Tinubu, to constitute a committee that will do a thorough job against this allegation. It is not mere grandstanding that somebody was just being alleged and systematically was just being abused out of office. This is what we also see in the predecessor of Bola. He was also erroneously sent out, and after a year or 2 years, some people came and started telling us another story, that no, it was a mistake, that this man was not found wanting. Today, I want to tell you that Magu has been free of all allegations. At the point where Magu want to be thrown out of that office, we all saw that bunch of allegations upon him. Bunch of allegations. That is why people will say no. What people usually do is that because they have stepped on stone, when they step on people's stone, they want to remove them systematically, so they bring out a lot of allegations. I've seen videos, flying all around about how Abdulrasheed Bawa sent his family, his children to Lesser Hajj, spending millions of dollars on them. That is not something that is substantial for me. But I think this is one of the allegations. For a CSO to come on screen, to come on the national TV, to throw that type of allegation, I think there may be likely be a source of truth into it. Let the presidency dig into it. Let the presidency dig into the allegations of the former governor of Zamfara State. Let the presidency dig into the allegations of the central bank governor against Bawa, and let us see the truth. I think it's part of it. If you want to fight corruption, you have to come with clean hand. That is what President Bola Tinubu have just did. Let him go, let him be set aside, and let a committee, let another team investigate him and see if it is true. If it is true, let them send him to where it's proper. The court is there for him to adjudicate, and he is being given an opportunity to bring in his own lawyer, to certify himself. But if it's found wanted, I think it's quite clear for praying that one day we find it out, we will get it right in the country. Mutawale allegations, I think it's like going forth or back. Mutawale, nobody will take Mutawale allegation quite interesting and quite serious. Mutawale, at the point in time, you have seen a lot of allegation upon him. I think what Mutawale did was to shoot back at him. That you, because you are alleging me, I also have a point to allege you. Because you want to fight me, I have a way to fighting you. But I think it is quite clear. Both Mutawale and Abdulrasheed Bawa, none of them is in office today. Let the presidency do their job. A thorough investigation into the allegation, so things will be done properly. You see, this is one of the most interesting parts of it all. When I read this story yesterday, the first thing that first comes to my mind is this: that we are in a country where our leaders really like themselves far better than the masses. Thank God, I want to believe that they have debunked it. That there is nobody, that the rebellion mobilization did not even at any point want to increase the salary of the politicians in this country. We thank them for that. The first thing that I think is quite pivotal and not important at this time is the minimum wage increment. The government of President Bola Tinubu, the first thing that they're supposed to have done is to start working on the minimum wage. There must be a cushioning effect on this subsidies removal, and one of the most effective ways, to cushion up the effect of these subsidy removals and the pain, the agony at which our people are going through, is through the increment of the salaries of workers. Today, I want to tell you that there are workers in this country. If you earn 30,000 minimum wage in this country, you will be unable to pay for your transportation fare to your office. That is quite clear. That anybody is earning 30,000 and something fare of 50,000 in this country will be unable to pay for his transportation. So will you be going to office and only earning a salary that will just be transporting you back to office? Where is the one for you to pay the house rent? Where is the one for you to pay for your own feeding? Where is the one for you to pay the school fees of your children? Where is the one for you to clothe yourself and provide social amenities for yourself? That's quite interesting. But thank God that the mobilization office have said it is fake, and better it is fake. What I think we will do is this: let us all plead to President Bola Tinubu to justify the removal of the fuel subsidy by bringing in an increment, a commissionable increment into the salaries of civil servants in this country. And as it will be, Since the removal of subsidies, the money used in the payment of subsidies in this country can be used in doing other things. If the money used in paying subsidies in this country amounting into trillions of naira, it's quite clear that the monthly allocations that we'll be bringing into each state in this country will have a considerable increment, and the increment will likely to be a double. If the increment on monthly allocation will be double, then we will all start to celebrate that the salaries of people in this country will likely be double also. That is the only way out of this debacle of the pains of the minimum wage. A lot of people are going towards a lot of agony. The pains, the poverty, the penury on the faces of our people because of the removal of subsidy is quite high. This is the only time when you see aged people going to their office and trekking miles. It's quite disgusting. Some of them are not even healthy enough, to trek. But when you don't have the money for you to transport yourself, what you have in increment in the removal of subsidies is almost 2 to 250% increment. That is quite illuminating. What the president is supposed to have done, let him work on the governors and the leaders of this country. Let them come back to the drawing board. Work on the salaries of the masses, on the salaries of the citizens. That is when they will have a direct effect to the masses and the workers of this country. And I think I want to say this, because we don't want the new government to be surrounded with a lot of strikes and a lot of protests, and I think that is the reason the NLC in this country are really coming back. They are really sitting back to study the situations, but the situations is not really happy, is not really interesting to the workers of this country. But the labor union, I think, only want to be peaceful. They only want to see I think most of the meetings that they have done is that, okay, give us some time. Let us work on the modality. Let us work on the plan for us to have an increment in the salary of the people. The masses are those that need the increment and not the politicians. The salary they give to the politicians, even in the past, it's quite disgusting. I don't see where a governor, a senator, a president will hold that type of bogus payment in this country. That is quite much. Because you are a politician, because you are a senator, you are in office, you have access to all allowances, including cap allowance and newspaper allowance in this country. I want to tell you this, that this country, they even have feeding allowance, that we, through the money, you, your money, my money, we even feed our public officers. This is not interesting. The masses will take the larger percentage of the people supposed to get this money, not the minute politician in this country. I think President Bola Tinubu should look into this. The masses are being patient enough to welcome President Bola Tinubu. They really welcome him despite the pains and the agony that our people are going through. They supported the removal of subsidies. It's an interesting, this is the only first time that I've seen Nigerians got at peace, even going with praise. They wanted to work with the president to sanitize the society. But when they take the patient, I think President Bola Tinubu should not take the patient for granted. Let him come on board, work on very fast on the modalities and the system at which where he will increase the salary of the people and the minimum wage will get increased. I think even to double or even more than the double. I think we need to start this with the Islamic perspective about ram or not ram. Some of us have the Islamic background, to push to our people what the slaughters of ram really means. I think Islamically, when you want to slaughter ram, you should be somebody who is financially balanced and somebody who is financially okay. At this point in time, I just said it earlier, that our people are in pains. Some people cannot just afford even ordinary feeding. Just the morning, the afternoon, and the night feeding, some people cannot even afford it. For those that cannot afford just feeding, do you think they will be affording 100,000 and 100,000 and above ram? That's quite disgusting. Let our people follow it accordingly. Let them be at peace with their minds. The seller also at this point in time, I said this in one of my programs, that we can blame most of the sellers that people think increase unnecessarily the price of this ram. The transportation itself is there. Nobody will go from as far as Sokoto to Kwara here to bring the ram at the same price they are bringing last year. That's not possible. This year, I think there must be a commensurable increment in the price of the ram. But while there is an increment in the price of ram, we need to admonish our sellers to tamper things with masses. We need mercy within ourselves at this point. Give out the mercy. Help those who you think you want to help. If you are selling ram for people that think they want to buy, I think it's quite easy for them to negotiate gently with light profits. But for those that will be able to buy, they can buy in peace. For those that think that my financial capacity is not even up to reach this year, Islamically, you are asked to sit aside. Eat, drink, and be merry. That is the justification of the Salah. For those that have the financial capacity, I think there is a time that we need to admonish us. If you have the capacity to help your neighbor, it's quite interesting even in Islamic fundamentalism and Islamic rules and regulations that you must like your neighbor the way you like yourself. This is the time at which that will work. For those that are financially stable and have even much extra, we want to plead to them to please extend their hands of fellowship to their neighbors. Extend it to your friends. Extend to your brothers and your family. This time we need to celebrate and let everybody be happy. Let everybody be happy. For those that are in the market, the tomatoes, the rice, the oil, the groundnut oils and coal, all of them will get skyrocketing at this time. Let us quite admonish ourselves to tamper masses, justice with masses. We need to help ourselves. We need to be our brothers' keepers. Let things be fair on ourselves. At this time, even when the president want to make it quite easy for us, one of the friends just said it that maybe the salary of this month is likely be coming with the effective increment in the salary. That will make it more jubilant to our people. A lot of civil servants will jubilate having much increment in their salary, especially at this time of festivity. But let us tell ourselves this, that this is how the country will get better. We need to feel the pain. After going out of the pains, I think we need to succeed and we'll be happy and be merry again. I think President Bola Tinubu, when given opportunities, he meant well. For these past few weeks, we have seen the policy, the project, and the program is delving towards having a developmental government. And if us as citizens we will quite help him, I think the country will still be great again. Let us all help ourselves. Let us be our brother's keeper, and let us tell ourselves that we pray that we have a fantastic and a good and happy festival ahead. You see, I think the dollar, the stock exchange, and the parallel markets, the argument is this. It is just started. The push of demand and supply must work upon it at this time around. It will get tougher, but this will get lower as we forge ahead. What the president have just did is to allow both me and you to trade on dollar freely. There is no any black marketers to dollar anymore. It is a very, very welcome and a good opportunity for us. It's a good project. But this I want you to understand that there are some basic cabals. We in the past are those that participate in the black markets. Black market racketeering is only the job for the cabals in this country. Both the bigger politicians, they do dollar racketeering. But today, President Bola Tinubu is coming to sanitize it. Do you think they will want to take it easy with him? No. What we see today is the fight back of the cabals. But as the system goes on, it's a natural defeat. They got defeated and they have to draw back, and the dollar will start to standardize itself. It's happened anywhere when new policies and projects like this is starting. That's the truth. It will come with pains. But when you see the price keep pushing up, is because those cabals will really want to fight back. What they do is to start sanitizing all those dollars, and they will make it natural scarcity. And when there is natural scarcity, you know there will be an increment in the price of it. So that is what we are saying. But as time goes on, when investors keep coming in, pushing in the dollar will become something that it will drop in price because the quantity will increase in the economy and the price will start dropping. I think it will go up at this time, but as we go systematically, the price will drop. And it's an economic value, it's an economic policy, and it will surely come down again. It takes us to be peaceful, it takes us to be patient, and we will all get it interesting with ourselves, and the economy will bounce back live. I think the government should increase people's salary. We don't need to admonish the president or the any government again at this time. I think when we start having the problem, I think it's from the state governors. Even when the presidency is working assiduously to see a considerable increment in the salaries of federal workers, most of our state governors may likely don't work on it. I think each state governor is supposed to have gone back to the drawing board now, having a financial expert and a financial committee in each of the states, especially through the governor, the NGF. Thank God we have our governor as the chairman of NGF of today. I think at the NGF circle, they're supposed to have bring out a project and a policy that will start working on the increment of the salaries of the people. If the federal government is bringing a double increment into the salary, what is the state government will be bringing in to commiserate into that pains exact what the removal of subsidy, the payment to the removal of subsidy brings in? What will be the commiserate increment in the salaries of the state civil servant must commiserate with what the presidency, the federal civil servant is bringing in. So we need to plead to them that this is a tough time for our people. It is a tough time for the masses of this country. That a lot of people are going through a lot of pains and hardship. Let the leaders soften the pain by giving us a commiserable increment in the salary of the people. Let them cushion up the effect of the removal of the subsidies. I think the workers of us, for us as analysts, is that we need to tell ourselves that we need to cut our coat according to our sizes. If peradventure I go out with my car 10 times in a day, when you go out to an unnecessary places, this is the time for you to come back home. Sit back at home. If it takes you to go out by force, by fire, as most of our people will say, kindly go out once or twice, so you will cut your expenses. All civil servants, everybody in this country, both the masses, we need to start cutting our expenses. It is natural. If you don't have money at hand, what you need to do is to cut your expenses. When your expenses is quite much, the money is not coming in as commensurate to what we will be spending. So for us to lessen the effect of these pains, the effect of the agony, is for us to start cutting up our own expenses. We have seen state governors like ours here in Kwara State that say they want the civil servant to be going to their offices 3 times in a week. I think it's quite an interesting one for us. As a civil servant, if you are asked to go 3 times in a week, if the office is quite closer, do you need to go with your car? No. You can exercise yourself to the office. Leave the fuel in your car for something much important, for an emergency. When we start cutting up our expenses at this way, we will also cohort ourselves into the economic hardship and economic reality that we have of today.